Today's sponsors are Angelo's Interiors, specialising in kitchens, bedrooms and bathrooms. Go and visit their showroom today in Gillingham. Their web address is angelosinteriors.com. And De Medici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on demediciassociates.com.
Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast with me, Simon Burridge.
And me, Rachel Burridge.
Whoop-diddly.
You're going to say...
Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast.
Go on then.
Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast.
You can look
What you say?
What's that all about?
But you normally say something stupid or go...
Not saying anything stupid. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast. At home today. Why are we at home today?
What is it?
Coke.
Oh.
Pain.
Yeah.
Why are we at home today? We were going to do a podcast, but the guest unfortunately had to cancel last minute. And what we usually do after that podcast is we usually do us two, don't we? As in film us two, do a Monday podcast. But we were like, nah, won't do that. And then someone phoned about a last minute photo shoot that we did.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No,
It's like you're acting like you don't know what's happened today.
No, it's the way you're like, yeah. Sorry.
Just telling people what we've been up to today.
Sorry, take three.
No, it just carries on rolling. You know the rules. I don't want to edit anything.
Sorry, but yes, we were busy with a company doing photos, and yeah, it just took over the day a little bit, didn't it? So
But now we're here. We've got half an hour roughly. Knock this out, Rach. Or knock this out in half hour. Can we do that?
that's quite me.
You ever knock one out in half hour? Right, moving on. Okay, so let's talk about Friday's podcast was Paul Hill's, the 2-hour long.
That we had a drink with that one. It was we had like beers and everything, didn't we?
If you haven't seen it, watch the podcast. I am eating constantly for 2 hours. And then I pour that drink over me. I open that bottle and the drink goes all over me. But Paul's a entertaining bloke. So he's one of those people that can read the yellow pages and still be funny. You know what I mean? It's good as gold. And so it was about Grey IT, wasn't it? His the company he works for, which is an IT specialist, helps you with anything from, what's the woman's name? Not Gladys, Beryl, from Beryl to,
Yeah.
to other companies. That was good.
What do you think I asked him, didn't I? Do you actually know a Beryl? And he went, I
Nah,
don't think so.
he doesn't know Beryl. And then he did his touring of Australia.
Mm.
And this Friday coming up is, do you want to say his name? Damien. Damien what? Damien Kroganowski. What is it, Rach? Damien Kroganowski. And he is Flash Professional Services. Couldn't say that. That was a bit of a struggle.
And he is also the voice of the character from Bug's Life.
Apparently, we think he's the voice from the character of Bug's Life. So if you want to know what we're on about, then have a good listen to it. Because he is, I'm so hungry. It's his laugh more than anything. It's more of his laugh than the voice, isn't it?
A little bit his voice.
It is quite an entertaining character.
I love it. After that podcast, though, he said to you, first time I met you, I didn't like you, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's so straight. He said, when I met you, Tom, I thought you was an arsehole or something.
It was like, I didn't like you at all.
When I first met him was in lockdown over a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
So I was clearly just trying to be serious and not as stupid as I am.
He said you looked really...
And I looked straight-faced, he said. But it's the way he describes it. I didn't like you, straight out, bang, like that.
Yeah,
okay,
I thought you were an arsehole. I love this guy.
And you're like, yeah, he's an arsehole. Anyway, so that's Damien. He's coming up on Friday, which is quite a good one as well. We've got some questions, Rachel. I will just... Let me turn this off as well. Let's put it on silent for a change. There we go.
Change.
Let's have a look, see what we got. I have some questions.
Can I just say before these questions, thank you to Rachel and Kelly, who did stand in for me a few weeks ago. They were both amazing. They were really good little interviewers, weren't they?
Yeah, Rachel Kerridge, backup Rach, stand-in wife.
And Kelly.
Kelly Burrows, clown lover, anything weird lover.
What did you keep calling her? Because you kept looking at her.
Well, I kept calling Rach Kelly.
And then you kept calling Kelly something else as well, didn't you?
I gave her a really weird name. I called her something completely different.
Yeah.
I just don't know where this all comes from. But we love them both very much. They're good friends.
Thank you so much for your help.
And we know they're jumping for us anytime, and they're both very good. Rachel was very, very professional, and Kelly was mental.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it was a bit of each of us there. And we'll definitely have them again soon.
On the podcast?
What are you planning on doing with them?
Well, please structure
Bang
that.
out of order.
Unless you've got a little secret admirer, please structure that sentence correctly.
Girls, we will have you
On
again
the
soon.
podcast.
We're going to get Kelly in about clowns. We're definitely going to have a clown show in, like serious clowns. She told me something weird about every clown has a different face, right? Every clown has a different face. And if you're a proper clown, you paint that face on an egg and it goes into a clown museum. We've got to get a clown on. Yeah, I know, we've got to get a clown on. Anyway, first question. I know the answer already, but whose amazing idea was it to start the podcast? And has it done anything you expected? Well, it's kept us together.
Just.
It doesn't matter who it's from.
Who's it from? Because he knows the answer already.
Darren Holton. Darren Holton.
So I'll leave that question to you then. You're more than welcome to
Rachel, your idea. Everyone knows this. This has been mentioned on podcast anyway. It was your idea to do the podcast.
So I came up with the idea and I said to you, I think it would be a really good idea to do a podcast. What was your reply?
And my reply was, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think you're lying.
You might be lying.
What was your reply?
No, we ain't going to do that. Because I know who's the one that's got to do all the work. And who is the one that does all the work? Who is the one that does all the podcast work?
Do you like it?
No, answer the question. Who is the one who does all the podcast work?
Look, as so many people keep telling me, I'm not here for my brain, I'm here for my looks.
Anyway, yes, you came up with it. And has it done anything you expected? Has it done anything you expected?
Done everything we expected.
Has it done anything we expected? Is it what we expected? And the other question was, any changes, plans, additional ventures? But has it done? I'm really enjoying doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot. Hopefully, the people that are listening or watching, I think are enjoying it.
I find it really interesting though, because you sit down with people and you think, you do this, you do that. And then I get really into the conversation. I start asking random questions, like a few of them. I'm like, so how does this actually work? And actually getting into what they do in their mind and their business frame of mind.
Try not to talk with your hands too much because the lever is the false lever is squeaky. And you've already annoyed me with noises.
So it's not just in the studio.
Oh, no. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Has it? You were going back to
I was listening to it, but I found how annoying I am. Like, someone would start saying something seriously and I go, can I stop you completely in your tracks? And let's talk about this sign, which really has no importance whatsoever. But it's the thing now. So if I forget about the sign, I've even made a list. We've even got
post-it notes on the door as a reminder.
Got post-it notes because we always forget to do the selfie for the thumbnail of the podcast.
It was selfie, form. There's about 3 or 4 things that we've got. Yeah.
Anyway, it's more than what we expected, considering it's been going for a month,
6 weeks?
month and a half.
Yeah.
Our subscribers are shot up on YouTube.
We've had hundreds of views. It's really
more people are watching it than listening to it. That's fine. Don't bother me. I'd rather more people watch it because a lot of the stuff's visual. Obviously, the sign falling off the wall, you can hear it falling off the wall.
But if we're advertising us as well, what we do is visual, isn't it?
So it was all about you knowing us two as characters, and would you feel comfortable with us working with them on your wedding day mainly, more than anything?
And then it's also about who's behind the brand, isn't it? Because you've got these big companies out there, you know, you don't know who's going to turn up to your wedding, but if there's a tiny little bit of, actually, they're down to earth, they're this, they're that, then, like I said, you get to know those people behind, you get to know those people behind the brand.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. I like it.
I do like it.
What else we got? Any changes or plans for additional ventures? Now, changes to the podcast. I always want to add segments. I'm trying to think of segments to add without it taking away too much.
Like what?
I don't know. Beer pong?
I've just scratched and I've knocked my mic as well. Sorry.
Kelly or the other H wouldn't do that. They were as good as... No, they were just as bad, actually.
I think, didn't you tell Kelly, you would just stick this in your mouth? And she went, she was so scared.
The thing is, I worry about the sound because it gives me more work. So the more you behave with the sound, the less work I have to do trying to make the sound good. The other thing is we've got this week, where we're not in the studio, we have got these little mics. They're pretty good, but the quality may not be as accurate or as good as the other stuff. Just a little disclaimer for why this podcast is going to be crap today.
And Tom can't be asking, what is it?
Well, I'm one thing I am doing, I'm getting better with audio editing, which I don't have to do as much. And when I wish I knew...
What do you mean as much?
I don't have to do it as much when it comes to weddings or promotional videos because it's usually just like a voiceover over the top, which you can clean up.
Okay.
But it's very rare since the podcast that I would have to do 3/4 mics in close to each other where they're bleeding over and stuff. So I've learned a lot about, I can't even remember the word.
Distortion?
No, not at all about mic distortion. About cutting. So the volume of me talking on this mic is louder than your voice on my mic.
But it will pick up your voice on my mic.
Will you just listen to the whole sentence? Oh, can we cut this now, guys? Can we just not bother this week? Just doing me head in. Right, so imagine my voice is at -6 decibels and yours on your mic is at -6 decibels, right? But my voice on your mic is at -25 decibels. I can make anything from -25 decibels. Why am I even explaining this? Anyway, I've got a lot better with audio, all right? I've got a lot better with audio to the point where I can't even remember what that setting is that cuts it off. But audio people know what I'm talking about. If you want to comment and say you're talking about this time, and then that's great because comments always help. And please,
or comment and say,
hey, and hit that subscribe button down there for me, would you?
Comment and say you're talking shit. Though.
Yeah, you can if you want to say I'm talking shit, then fine. But hit that subscribe button. That's what you have to do that a bit more, H.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, well done.
All right.
And are we still promoting? Are we promoting the Michi Peachy, whatever it's called? What's it called? Machu Picchu. I call it the Inca Trail myself.
Yeah, it is.
We're promoting your Inca Trail thing. Yeah. Are you still doing it? Are you healthy enough to do it? Are we 100% sure?
I am.
Okay.
I am still doing it.
Okay.
And if not, you'll have to stand in for me. So if you train with me, just in case, get fit and train with me.
Am I able to stand in last minute like that?
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
I might start putting roller skates at the bottom of the stairs.
Please don't.
Okay. We have any changes, plans, or ventures? Yeah, beer pong.
Yeah. Let's go back. You said I've got segments you want to add in.
I just want to. I think the podcast may need a little bit more structure with the guests. Maybe a little bit more structured questions. I think I like the way it runs. A lot of people said your podcasts are really long. They are. We don't want to stop the podcasts in their tracks after half an hour. Our ones are a lot shorter, between half hour and 45 minutes. But the guests, I want them to just, the longer you're with a guest, the more they open up and become themselves. So I don't want to be shutting them off, getting them to open up and then stopping them dead. Look, if it's too long, stop it and then play the rest another day if you want to. If you're bored, stop it and just watch it or listen to another one. Doesn't matter.
You're giving very angry vibes.
The good thing about a podcast is you can push pause. You can just push pause. And if you've had enough, go forward a bit if you think it's a little bit boring. No one's really said it's boring, but they've just said, they're quite long, Si. They're quite long.
But how can you squeeze some of that? Because the questions we ask are basically, how did you get to where you were? What did you do before you were in this industry? What do you like about it? That sort of thing, right?
Which leads me on to another question from a guest. The question is, the question is, how do you get to people to relax?
Well, that's it, really, isn't it?
I'm assuming they mean people on the podcast. Because it's Rohypnol usually. Sorry.
Wow, no wonder I feel so spacey all the time.
Sorry.
I just thought I was stupid.
Just wanted to say that was a joke. Right. I just use my looks and my charm.
That bit's going to be like the snippet of this podcast. You're going to get all haters out there going, "Oh my God, he drugs his wife."
Yeah, that's great.
No, before what I was saying was, we ask them all these questions. So if they tell us, and go into detail about how they got there in their life, like you said, we're not going to sit there and go, "Sorry, shut up. We're going to go on to the next bit." We can't do that, can we?
Exactly. So
I think that relaxes them as well.
Our goal is to bring out the true character of people, and that takes time. And if it takes 10 minutes, if it takes a half hour, if it takes 45 minutes to get the real person out of the podcast, that's what we would do. Why are you laughing, Rachel? So that's how we get people to relax. We get people to relax by being ourselves, have a drink, stop hitting my leg while I'm talking because that's going to annoy me on the sound as well.
Stop using my hands and squeeze them.
I think that's one thing we're very good at, you and I. We can get people relaxed quite quick before we murder and bury them.
Oh, that's another highlight.
God. Feel free to check out Patio.
We don't have Patio.
Exactly. We've hidden them somewhere else.
Right, so we've done drugs, murder.
It's going well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going very well. Nothing about Cherrywood Productions or what we do as a company.
And yes, we do have the odd swear word in there, don't we?
Yeah. Some people don't like the swear words. Some people aren't bothered by the swear words. We will adapt based on the guest.
Yeah.
Once again, that's a part of getting someone relaxed. If you're too rigid with them, rigid's the right word, yeah. It sounded sexual to me at first. But if you're too rigid with them, then they're not going to relax. We will adapt to their character, and if they like to swear and feel more comfortable knocking out the odd F, then we will let them. Obviously, we've got some guests coming up in the future. Some politicians, members of parliament are coming onto the show. We're not going to swear unless they're comfortable with it. They might be effing and blind, effing and jeffing. You just don't know. Anyway, I doubt they will, but that's why we swear sometimes and sometimes we don't. Anyway, next one.
But it isn't for kids. This podcast isn't for kids, by the way.
No, it's not for kids. Not for kids. It's just human beings having a chat, telling you about their life.
Yeah.
Human beings that are not too famous and all that business. Anyway, I did get another one. What's the most surprising subject that comes up on your podcast so far?
OnlyFans? I think OnlyFans.
You bring OnlyFans up far too much.
Excuse me, I brought it up once. In the whole time, it's always you, and it's always to the girls.
Well, you've got to test to see if they've got one or not, you know.
No, sorry, going back to the original question.
What was the original question? I've forgotten it. What's the most surprising subject that comes up on the podcast? Do you know what? There's a guy that's already been on, and he will come on in a couple of weeks' time. And it's Darren Holton about his job about having to clear up after suicides and road traffic accidents and things like that. That was
that's eye-opening, I think. That's the only way to describe it. Mind-blowing.
And how he mentally copes with it.
It just some of the situations you sit there and think, I don't know if I should laugh or cry, or
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you're serious. It was just so.
And people will comment. People will comment on that podcast.
Mm.
People that just have never been in that environment.
But we did, to be fair, before we did speak about it, we did give them a warning. We do give them a warning, don't we? And say there's some details here.
There's some detail on there. But there's no specifics about who these people that have passed are. But there's some detail on there about them having to do some clear ups and some stories that they've come across. So that's one. That's a really good one for a couple of weeks' time. Darren Holton, Hayden Griffiths. They've all been good. I've enjoyed them all. They've all been different. They've all been good. There's going to be a lot more wedding related podcasts coming up. So we're getting a lot more wedding suppliers in, which is what we do mainly. We do promotional videos as well a lot. And today's work wasn't wedding related. Actually, it's about 50-50 now, isn't it? I would say, if that. But this was originally a podcast for couples, brides and grooms who are looking to get married and want to meet other suppliers. So we're getting a lot more turn up. It's just the way it's been booked. It's been booked with the fact that we had a couple of celebrants and so it was a first come, first serve basis with the bookings of the podcast. And
we've got for weddings, we've got dress,
magician. We've got venues.
Yeah, we've got wedding dress,
hair braiding,
hair, makeup.
Next
soon. We've got makeup.
Next week, yeah. So they're all becoming. All these different wedding suppliers will be turning up, and there's some good people there. Disc DJs coming on. Yeah. So that's a thing. So what am I trying to say? What was the question again? Have I missed the most surprising subject? Well, I've told you about that. How do you get people to relax? I've covered that one. I think there's one more question. Where is it? The other question is, what about a shoot to fame? Any famous people you've worked with? Well, we've worked with Ricky Rose off EastEnders, and we're going to get him on the podcast.
As in general,
Well, the thing is, I've not worked with people, but I've been Charlton mascot when I was in the Premier League. So I've met all the stars, Ronaldo and Beckhams and all that, but they're on about working with. So mainly Ricky Groves. When we won the wedding awards, we had Kelly Godliman from Kerry Godliman, from anything Ricky Gervais does, Afterlife, and Derek. So we met her, had a nice chat with her.
Barry from EastEnders.
Barry from EastEnders, met Barry. A few other comedians. I've worked with the Cinnamon before.
From The Chase.
From The Chase. What's the comedian we're working with? I've worked with him once before. I've got to work with him again on awards coming up soon.
We've got awards in a few weeks' time, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
we got. I don't want to go into too much details about it, but we've got an award ceremony coming up next week, and a really good comedian, and his name has really slipped my mind, and I'm not going to get that back. Definitely not in half hour. So we work with people, a lot of famous people on award ceremonies as well. What else have we got to tell anyone about? Bear with me. Ted, can you do that in another room, babe, please? Thank you. Sorry. My son decided to play the ball. My son decided to play with a ball on the stairs, and it was putting me off big time. Right, okay. Anything else? There was. I'm sure I see another one here. Any recommendations for kids or teens trying to get into the industry? Oh my goodness, that's a hard one.
But here.
Excuse me.
For us, like the wedding industry?
I think it was after the famous people one, so I'm wondering if he means, kids or teens trying to get into, stage school or into the film industry.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, there are a few companies out there, aren't there, that link.
I've not got a recommendation, I've got a bit of advice. Only do it if you know they love doing it. Don't do it to be famous, because that is like winning the lottery. So don't waste your time on trying to be famous. If you're good enough, fame will come anyway. Just do it because you love it.
That was very heartfelt, actually, for you.
It's true. I've been there. I haven't been there. But that's what I say. Do it because you love it. Don't push them. Don't make it. Do it because you want your kids to be famous. because they'll do a Macaulay Culkin on you. I'm sure they will divorce you.
Could you actually do that in England?
I don't know. Just don't talk to them. Similar.
Not that I'm looking at divorcing my parents, but I mean, I love my parents.
If you need help with it, I'm happy to help.
Shut up.
Any recommendations? I've just read that.
So,
How do you see the industry going in the future with the direction of tech? So what you're basically talking about is phones, camera phones, and all that. They're very
AI.
good. And AI. Yeah.
there's so much going on. I mean, even from the time we started the company, the equipment, the technology, everything has just almost changed overnight to some extent.
It's still not quite there. And right, this is a thing. How long has this is a one way to gauge it, right? You can still tell when you get a dodgy phone call. I personally can still tell when I get a dodgy phone call and I know it's a computer calling me.
Oh, right, sorry.
You can still tell. That's been going now, I would say, for about 15, 20 years. And still they haven't mastered it. Still, I can tell, even the really good ones, I can tell there's that little pause, you know.
But I mean, I've listened to podcasts that delve into AI as well and stuff like that. And it's not real AI as yet, is it?
No.
It's on the verge, but AI is when it's artificial intelligence. Now
It's thinking for itself.
That is when it thinks for itself, and then we're all screwed because then it's Terminator.
Yeah. No,
it's D-Day.
You're right. If it was AI, it would be making the programs itself.
It has to have feelings, right?
All the time we're making that's about the idea. All the time we're making the program itself or the app itself, it's not AI. It's just a database of information.
Yeah.
AI is it,
and it learns from that information.
AI is it thinking for itself, but we're not even going on. I don't even think you've jumped to AI.
Sorry.
I think the way I've read this is the fact that phone cameras, you know, we're photographers, phone cameras are getting really good, and they are getting really good. But you still have to have the right eye holding the camera and taking the photo.
You have to have that little bit of creativity.
Yeah.
You have to have that little bit of engineering almost, because you have to organise, let's say 100 people.
Yeah.
I've done a wedding with 120 people before. I've got to get in one group shot. So you have to be able to, sorry, I'm touching my skin. You have to be able to have that organisation skill as well as creativity and being able to use the camera. And we've said before as well, it's not just about click and shoot. It's
the idea.
It's the idea. And what happens if it goes wrong? You need to be really quick thinking. For example, rain. I know obviously no one can help the rain, but rain really gets on my nerves because it could be really, really sunny. You plan all the shots because you know the venue, you can do this, and this. You get really creative because I know, you know, some brides are like, yep, I want to go outside, I want to do this, I want to do this. The day comes and it's raining.
I'll tell you another thing, which we've discussed, which is what this whole podcast is about. Technology improving isn't going to make you work well with your subjects. Only you will make you work well with your subjects. Another thing, phones. Phones are amazing, yes, but there's a reason why lenses are exactly the same price as cameras, because you're probably better off having a high quality lens with a lower quality camera than you are a high quality camera with a low quality lens. And phones aren't going to start having massive lenses out the back of them. And don't get me wrong, the sensors in a phone improve all the time, but they'll never have a lens that will take over, you know, a high quality lens. The other thing is, like I say, the idea of the shot, the idea of the angle. The phone's not going to say, here, bend down a bit and go by that grass. That'd be a lovely angle. Technology's not going to do that. Your brain's going to do that.
What photo are you doing when you're saying bend over on the grass?
No, I mean the photographer. Get the photographer down low and take... No, I'm not...
Bend over on the grass. I'm like, what are you saying?
What I'm trying to say is the phone's not going to say to you, I know a good shot. Why don't you go in between those two tree trunks and take it through there, or by that rock and get the rock in the corner? The phone's not going to tell you that. It takes the person in control of the device, the camera or the phone, take that shot. So no matter how well technology improves, it still requires a human brain to get the right angle, get the right shot, get the right picture.
And again, when AI can actually do that, we'll be dead.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. But what we can do when that takes over, we'll just do the podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll just slag off all these AI cameras and things like that. We'll be famous for the podcast by then, mate. The podcast, actually, I'm quite...
Positive?
No, I'm not positive. No, I'm quite positive, but it's I'm quite pleased with how well it's going and how popular it's going. And I look at, obviously, the stats far too much, which you shouldn't do. And I've been advised that you're looking at 2 years for a podcast to be established, and I'm quite pleased with the way this one's going. So, well done to you, Boosh. And I think that's enough. Don't you think that's enough? Yeah?
I think so.
I think it's enough. I'm glad you're feeling better. You're the love of my life. And I was in pain when you was in pain.
Aww. Why? Because you had to do everything back at home.
Are you nearly crying?
No.
Damn,
I just snorted though.
No.
No. But thank you so much for looking after me. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Anyway, don't do as she does. Do as she don't does. Cheers.
This podcast has been brought to you by Snugdubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk. This podcast was brought to you today by Austin's Eatery on Station Road, Strood.
Try the Viking Challenge.